It's a new year with a bunch of new PS5 games. Here's what to look forward to in January of 2026. We'll kick off the list with a bit of deja vu. Code Violet, which was delayed into December and included in our December video, and then was delayed again and will hopefully actually release on PS5 on January 10th. This is a sort of dark third-person sci-fi shooter stuffed full with dinosaurs. Its story is actually quite grim, where a dying colony in a post-apocalyptic world use time travel to abduct women from the past and use them as surrogates. So I'm a little on the fence about how well it can handle a story like that, but it does weirdly have that sort of video game look, if you get what I mean. You know, big sci-fi metallic setting and then dinosaurs. It's got that old kind of arcade look to it. But anyway, this one's coming on January 10th, and a nice reminder that dates are subject to change, just letting you know there. Cassette Boy is a charming little pixelated adventure that makes its way to PS4 and 5 on January 15th, so at a glance this is a 2D world. However, the cool mechanic of this game is that you're actually able to rotate the world, and anything that isn't in your sight is essentially erased from reality. It adds a whole new puzzle mechanic to the game where you'll twist and turn the map to reveal hidden pathways and bypass obstacles. It's a neat little twist on the old school style of pixelated indie. You can try it out too, with the demo being available on the PS Store. Arriving on January 15th as well, we have Trails Beyond the Horizon, a sort of sub-series to the Legend of Heroes franchise. It's kind of connected to Trails of the Sky, it's not a direct continuation, it's all one big happy family, I suppose. So basically in this one, it's year 120X and Doomsday is upon the world of Zemuria. So humanity aims to launch themselves into the cosmos for the first time to avoid their demise. However, the whole experiment sees our boy Van Arknights and the gang destined to clash, so they can uncover the secrets at the very heart of Zemuria. From what I see online, you kind of want a bit of experience with these games before diving into this one, but they come very highly recommended. Trails Beyond the Horizon is launching on both PS4 and 5. Brokenlore Unfollow is a first-person psychological horror game that focuses on the effects of social media on our mental health. It follows Anne, a victim of bullying who is trapped in a horrifying nightmare where she must uncover this sinister mystery and face spooky creatures. I think the concept is actually kind of cool here, where Anne's smartphone will actually be like a tool, I suppose, in the game, and it will have multiple endings influenced by your choices throughout. If done well, I think this could be a really interesting horror game. It's the first of 4 games in the Brokenlore series, each of which has different subjects and settings, and Unfollow is the first of the lot, launching on PS5 January 16th. On January 22nd, Dynasty Warriors Origins gets a huge dollop of DLC with visions of 4 heroes. It's kind of a what-if scenario where you get to experience stories that were untold in the game. Basically, what if you decided to side with this guy or that guy or this guy here? It's going to tell the story of 4 different characters from the main game. On top of this though, you've got new companions for when you're sweeping through masses of enemies, a new bow and rope dart weapon that make their debut, and then existing weapons gain new arts, your trail level caps are increased, there's new skill panels, and there's even a new training ground where you can test your skills against some big bads. Arknights Endfield is the highly anticipated next game in the Arknights series. This is a series that on the game side of things actually hasn't had too much, only a tower defense game from what I'm reading, and then some anime series. However, Endfield is like a huge step up because this is an enormous real-time strategy action RPG. It's also one of those gacha games akin to the like of Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. There seems to be a lot of interest in this one because there's actually been over 30 million pre-registrations for this game ahead of its launch on PS5, PC and mobile. With it being like those gacha games, you've got your flashy combat, an ever-expanding roster of characters, all of which you have to sort of claim or acquire through the gacha styled system. But there is also another side to this game With a rather in-depth base management system, it lets you harvest and refine resources with the base sort of playing into the narrative, but also if you sink enough time into this and really optimize it, it will actually help you gain access to progression items. Anyway, if you are up for the grind, Arknights Endfield drops on PS5 January 22nd. Highguard is a free-to-play PvP raid shooter from a new studio, Wildlight Entertainment. Now this is made up of veteran developers responsible for the likes of Apex Legends and Titanfall. Now we don't know a huge amount about this game at this point, to be honest. It was only just announced at the Game Awards, and the synopsis online says you'll be playing in Warden Crews, battling for possession of the Shieldbreaker, then with the aim of breaking into and destroying an enemy base to secure territory. I'd love to know a bit more, but I think the pedigree of talent here is enough for me to want to check it out, and I'll be doing so when it launches on PS5 January 26th. On January 29th, I Hate This Place comes to PS5. It's an isometric, craft-based survival horror game where you'll face a collective of creepy crawly monsters, all brought to life in a brilliantly vibrant 80s comic book style. It's actually inspired by a comic book series of the same name. You're going to need to scavenge, sneak, build, and fight across the Rutherford Ranch, which is made up of haunted forests, derelict towns, and infested bunkers. It has a really cool looking day and night cycle too, where you must try and loot up by nightfall, where the map becomes much harder to navigate as you only really have your flashlight. This one looks really cool. Cairn was originally due for November in 2025 but was pushed back and will now drop on PS5 January 29th. It's a rock climbing experience where pro climber Ava is trying to ascend Mount Kami, a summit that has never been reached before. You'll meet companions along the way, discover the history of the mountain, and decide what Ava is willing to sacrifice to achieve her dream. The cool part though is that Cairn calls itself a realistic simulation with intuitive climbing. So every hand and leg position, every bit of purchase on a ledge, your posture, your balance, all of that matters when making your way up Mount Kami. It's sort of an open mountain too, so you can assess your route from the ground before tackling the rock face. It sounds really cool. I cannot wait to play it. It's actually one of my most anticipated of the year. Our last game of the month is Code Vein 2, an action RPG sequel where a revenant hunter will travel to the past to halt the inevitable collapse of the world, and they're gonna do it with a girl called Lou who has the power to manipulate time. This sequel is reworking its build system so that you can freely customize your weapons and skills to amplify that high-octane combat, which will utilize powerful skills which are built up by basically draining the blood of your enemies. It looks very fast paced, sort of eccentric in its design too. It should be a lot of fun. You can pick up Code Vein 2 on PS5 January 30th. So those are your 10 PS5 games that you should be checking out in January 2026. Remember that dates are subject to change, it happens all the time, but just to cover my back I have to mention it here. But assuming all games actually come out on the dates that they have promised, which one are you most looking forward to in January? Let me know down in the comments below, and while you're there, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more PlayStation video content just like this. Anyway, I really do appreciate you, but that is it for me today, so until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.